It's the National Football League presented by EA Sports. The calendar has turned to December, and we're in the home stretch now as we're underway in Week 13. And he takes this near the 25, just a little pass there, call it the 26. They'll start on the ground. Etienne. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. Well, this defense for the Texans, they were terrific in the win over Tennessee a week ago.
And I'm eager to see the game plan and trying to attack them this week, because when you take it away 4 times through interceptions, what do you do now when you go into a game? Do you decide you can't throw the ball? Do you try and run it more? Or do you tell your quarterback, make sure you see your guys open before you deliver?
On second down, Etienne once more. And he'll scratch out only about a yard after the 32. You can look at the defense for these Texans. They come into this one in the bottom half of the NFL against the run, number 19 overall.
And stopping the run, that's been an issue for them all season long. Aren't you glad that you're not coaching the defense right now?
I'm very glad. They said that they've seen it in doses, but very, very small doses.
Yeah, you've got to be consistent. It's down in and down out, being able to play it, understand what you have to get done, and finally stop some people, put them on the ground.
He gets 7 out of it, and he also gets a first. From the gun, it's Lawrence. A short throw there to Strange. And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46. The Jaguars had 5 and 6 to start play, and they come in off the extended break from the bye.
And I think it was much needed as well, because you play 2.5 months. You know you're ready for some time off in order to get prepared for the home stretch. In fact, when they looked at the schedule to start the season, I think they...
Oh, he rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Derek Stingley picks it. And they will score a pick 6 for the Texans TV. So a big defensive play there on the opening drive, no less, as they make the interception and bring it back for the score.
And I think that's a signal for how this defense wants to play. They want to be disruptive, and you know they're going to take some chances.
Well, sometimes it can burn you, but right there, it paid off. Fairbairn good with the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And not willing to risk a return. This ball's going to come out to the 30-yard line. The Jacksonville offense set to begin their next drive. Coming off every player's friend, the open week from last weekend.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. Even if you're coming off of a loss as they did, the open week is exactly what you need after you kind of get over it a little bit, right? Rest up the mind, rest up the body, get yourself ready to go. And they have to be eager to play again, especially since they lost the last time out.
His first catch, good for 9 and a first down.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Lawrence. A short throw there to Strange. And he goes out of bounds. It looks like right at the 50. So just 3 yards on the completion there. And that will bring up second down. Clock rolling as we hit the midway point of this first quarter. A give to ETN running right. And it's still about 3 yards shy of a first as the 4-yard pickup brings it to third down. You look at the defense for these Texans. They were terrific in the win over Tennessee a week ago.
And I'm eager to see the game plan and trying to attack them this week because when you take it...
Oh, and his early struggles continue. Here's another one intercepted. Jalen Petrie picks it off. And the Texans are going to get it back here just past the 35. If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are and positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance, he's helping his team in a huge way.
A first carry here for Joe Mixon. And he'll manage to pick up about 4 at second down. These two teams, they met in Houston earlier in the season with the Texans coming out on top. So a win here in Jacksonville would give them the season series. Second down and 6 now. A first carry now for Nick Chubb. Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a third and about 2.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
They need 2. Here's third down. Now a run. Here's the rookie from USC. Well, they hit him in the backfield, and he will not escape. And that is not going to get it done. Oh, a big decision here early. Look at this. They're going to go for it on their own side of the field. Oh, and now movement and a whistle, and they may have to rethink their plans on 4th down. Here's Tommy Townsend on to punt. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And this will pin him nicely inside the 20 as it's out of bounds at about the 14-yard line. Lawrence bringing the Jaguars up 1st and 10 at their own 14-yard line. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And they'll be stopped at the 28 on a play that started at the 14. They pick up 14.
But one of the ways that quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
And give him 6 yards here as he's stopped near the 35 at the 34. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
On second down, ETN once more. And he'll get about 2 there to the 36. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. Well, this is a new concept. It's 3rd down, but they've got the punt unit on. And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And they entered play on a 2-game win streak, and then they've got the open date on their schedule next week. So this is a group that's really looking to hit the break on a high note.
And this will obviously be a tough game for them, but go ahead and play this out with me, partner. If they win here and make it 3 in a row, They get to heal up after that. You've got to think that's an ideal setup and a worthy goal to play for in this one.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Now Stroud. This is intercepted. And the return will be stopped at the 34-yard line. So this defense coming up with a takeaway, and maybe that's something that can bring a little life to that sideline.
Well, I don't want to say that they've been sleepwalking through this first half because that's simply not true, but you're right. We haven't seen a lot of fire from these guys, really on either side of the ball. So maybe that's the catalyst that they needed to get them back into this game.
And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. The Jags picking up the first down there, a gain of 12.
A promising sign there from an offense that hasn't done a whole lot to this point. Nice job to locate the open receiver. And it's good yardage and a first down to open the drive.
Well, they'll run it here on the jet sweep. And they'll get him down right about the 20. This is 2nd and 8.
Hey, I'm gun. Here we go, sir.
And now what's this? They fake the spike. He'll throw it. Well, it's hit and the ball is free. And the Texans scoop it. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Hey, we can preach ball security all we want here, but how about that effort on defense? Excellent job inside the red zone. Just took away at least 3 points by forcing that fumble.
Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. And they've got themselves a 7-0 lead here, but that, you recall, was a defensive touchdown, so still nothing as of yet for this offense.
Well, they're happy to have the lead. We got to cut them a little bit of slack. It's still early enough, just a couple of drives so far, but if this one goes nowhere, those adjustments that we talk about, they shouldn't wait for halftime. They should go ahead and start working on them right now.
Once again, they run with Mixon, and they get him behind the line, so that short gain on first down quickly negated. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete. Here's Tommy Townsend now, standing just outside his own goal line. That's a 48-yard punt with a coverage holding him to 3 on the return. And the Jaguars go on offense, first down and 10. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. Yeah, they dipped a game below 500 following the loss last week, and you get the sense that maybe this team's at a little bit of a crossroads here.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to put it because what's that old malaprop? If you come to a fork in the road, take it. Because this crew, they're losing ground fast. They've got to start winning some ball games. And the good teams, they're starting to separate themselves, and these guys are being left behind.
And the pressure gets to Lawrence, and he'll go down. Daniil Hunter in there to get him. It's a loss of 5. So now after the sack of Lawrence, the Jags looking at a 3rd and long. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Well, that's the 3rd interception for Lawrence. Picked off by the former first-rounder Jimmy Ward. And he'll bring this one back to the 29. Well, that's 3 picks he's now thrown in this game.
And I know this, the holiday season, because here we are in December.
Giving.
Right, it is the season of giving. Maybe for his own sake after the game, he may have to announce that he's donating certain amounts to charity for each interception that he threw.
Here's Stroud. On the throw, led him too much that time. It's incomplete.
I think we can all understand what they're thinking right now. They take over the ball in field goal range after the turnover, so they've got that in their hip pocket. But they've got to go for the end zone and turn this into bigger points. Their thinking is a touchdown is really what they should get from starting here. Getting 3 points at the end of this drive, that would feel disappointing.
Back to throw. Here's Stroud. This goes out wide from Mixon. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
And they'll use him out of the backfield, and sometimes quite a bit. They're just trying to get him touches any way they can. 4 catches a week ago. There's another one right there.
Looking hot, looking hot.
Stroud looking to throw. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have a Texans first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
All-around great play by Devin Lloyd, using his athleticism to get to the backfield and his strength to stop him for a loss. 2 minutes on the clock, second quarter, 7-0 ball game.
Looking hot, looking hot. All right.
This is Collins on the handoff. And a great job there to read that one defensively. They strung him out, would not allow him to cut upfield.
So they get half of what they needed. It'll be 3rd and 6 upcoming.
So many play callers in the red zone worry about the negative effects of a play that they're about to call. But this guy, all he's worried about is gaining yardage and putting the ball in the hands of his playmakers.
On 3rd down, Mixon. And this won't do it. He needed 6. He only got halfway there.
But this was just simply excellent defense. On this 3rd down, they had to be alert for the possibility of a pass, but that didn't stop them at all from understanding what was going on when they decided to run the football, and they just swarmed and stopped them for almost no gain.
Fairbairn able to put this one through, and that will extend their lead even further. So they get the turnover in plus territory. The drive stalls out, but still able to get 3 out of that.
Yeah, we were able to see an offense and a defense kind of mix and match with each other, didn't we? Both of them trying to make sure that they had the upper hand and the advantage. Offense trying to get to the end zone. Defense, of course, trying to hold them to a field goal attempt. And it wasn't a guaranteed lock 3 from where they started. So, you know, the offense has to be happy to come away with those 3 points.
The Jacksonville offense set to begin their next drive. They're certainly in need of some kind of points here before the end of the half. A field goal or something being shut out right now. They could really use some momentum before they head into halftime.
Well, this defense is going to have to finish the job. There's still a second half that they have to play. But so far, an absolute total effort. They've disrupted the passing game, stressed the pocket for the quarterback. They forced him into errant throws. Everything they're doing has been executed well.
From the shotgun, Lawrence. He finds his man, complete. That's Weaver. And he's going to be out of bounds inside the 25-yard line. The Jaguars going to go ahead and use their first timeout. So as they talk it over, we step aside. A 1st and 10 here. And, you know, if they could just get 3 out of this, something about whittling it to a 1-score game at half that might provide a psychological boost. Now Lawrence to throw. This ball caught by Strange. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Brenton Strange, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Jaguars are on the board here in the final minute of the first half. Point after, right down the middle. And that'll cut it to 3 at 10-7. After the touchdown, Cook now to kick this one away. And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And leading 10-7, they may just want to get this to the locker room. Stroud to throw it. And that is incomplete. So 17 seconds now on the clock here.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now.
Oh, that's into a double team, and it's intercepted. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half.
Well, Charles, so close to halftime there. You throw the interception. Not only that, you do give it to them in plus territory as well.
Yeah, they were pushing real hard to try and get something more on the board on their side of the ledger right before the half. Looking at it with 20/20 hindsight, though, might have been better to hand it off a few times, hoping to get something to break instead of putting the ball in the air and, of course, putting the ball in jeopardy.
Final play of the half. It's Lawrence.
This is caught inside the 15. And he's in for the touchdown on the final play of the first half. The prayer is answered.
How did they get that done?
So instead of trailing into the lockers, they grab the lead with the clock reading all zeros before intermission.
I would love to go into the locker room with them because right now they're riding a nice wave, aren't they? They're feeling good about themselves. But I know the coach is going to be talking to them about calming down, taking it easy. We've got a whole second half, but use the way we finished the first one to start the second.
So we've reached halftime here in a 4-point game. As we now go downstate to Orlando and check in with Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, getting set for quarter number 3 here. The Texans down on the scoreboard, but they do get the first crack here as we are back underway in the second half. And no return forthcoming. It'll be a touchback. And the third quarter will start from the 30. Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. And they're still very much in this game, although they do trail. What's the game plan, Charles, for the second half?
It might be a little counterintuitive because most people will think losing equals passing the ball more, but I'd establish the running game. They kind of went away from it in the first half. I think if they get back in balance, it'll help them when they put the ball back in the air.
And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
And Stroud now to throw. He's got his target. That's complete. And he is going to have a Texans first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
And that's the kind of play this offense needs to maybe kick them into gear a little bit. They've been stuck in neutral much of the game. Perhaps that can give them a little bit of confidence that big plays are out there.
Escaping the pressure right. And that is incomplete here.
Well, defensively, they haven't let him just sit in the pocket and get comfortable, and that's opposite a lot of game plans in today's NFL. Ordinarily, you're trying to keep the quarterback hemmed in. In this case, they brought the heat, and if he flushes out, they're fine with that, and they force another incompletion.
Now a 2nd and 10. The throwing again is Stroud. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Well, they certainly aren't letting up today, partner, because they've forced big turnovers already, and it's been incredibly tough for them to get yards against, let alone put points up on the board.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Stroud. incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up fourth down. Well, the passing windows are just not there. That's just another example of how great this defense has been all game long.
And that's exactly what a top 10 defense can do. They can really change the game tempo and frustrate you as you try to execute offensively.
Fourth down, Stroud going to try to throw for it. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That pickup goes for 25. What a flip of the script from fourth down to first.
All right.
Nixon will try the right side. Down at the 25.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level.
Throwing now is Stroud. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Devin Lloyd, the one to get home and earn that sack.
Now, how about that? Defensive coordinator perfectly in sync, dials up a blitz. And the man in the middle, he's the one who gets home.
Big Mike.
Big Mike.
On third down, he'll drop to throw. A short one going to be taken in here by Schultz. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
How about a nod to the sequence of plays they're putting together here? This has been death by 1,000 paper cuts on this drive. But this is one of their best plays yet, and they're able to move it down into the red zone.
Over the middle, complete. That's Schultz. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and it's second down.
And there wasn't much room for the big tight end to do much after the catch. But at least he was able to pick up a solid gain to help his offense continue to move in the right direction.
On the quick, right?
Now a give to Collins. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. Nico Collins, his first rushing touchdown on the year. And the Texans have taken the lead as they go right down the field and score on the opening drive of the second half. Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And it's now 17-14. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. And no run back here. That's going to be a touchback, and we'll bring it out to the 30-yard line. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And they'll be working from behind now following the touchdown a moment ago on the opening drive of the half.
I think the guys right now, as they go out on offense, they're zeroing in on one big key. They don't have to do anything differently just because they're down on the scoreboard now. The intent, still the same in what they plan to do on offense.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
On second down, Etienne once more. And he'll push forward for a couple to the 34.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
Looking to throw, Lawrence. They'll try and set up the screen to Etienne. Good contain, no gain on the screen, and it'll bring up fourth down.
And I know that one didn't work out the way they thought, but I don't think it was a bad time to call this play. You're thinking on third down, you might possibly see some pressure. You might see a blitz. So they tried to set up the screen, but that one was well read, and they stopped them for no gain.
They're going on fourth down. Lawrence. That is caught. And some space here. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. 27 yards, a big play there on fourth. You can just kind of sense the momentum turning here. It's 1st and 10. Running out of the gun with Etienne. And he finds a little bit of room, enough for 4 yards. It'll be 2nd down.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
On 2nd down, Etienne once more. And he'll get a little over 2, maybe a full 3 down to the 32-yard line. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
Hey, run!
That's going to be caught by Bigsby. And he's going to be taken down with another 1st down as the stop's made at the Texans' 21. A shotgun snap and a give to Etienne. And he fights forward for a modest 2-yard gain, 2nd down.
In order to play really good run defense when you're playing a 3-4, those 3 guys up front, the nose tackle and the guys they call the defensive ends, they're usually big, big people because they're going to have to eat up a lot of blockers because it's usually 5-on-3. And when they do their job well, guys who play on the inside, those inside linebackers, they're able to just roam and hit.
They go play action now. Lawrence, he'll buy some time right. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. He turned that into a nice gain. Gets him 8 yards closer for 3rd down. Here's Lawrence to throw. That's complete to Travis Etienne out of the backfield. And he is going to lose yardage here. They'll wind up losing 3 here on the play. And that's going to make it 4th down. And this one is right through. And in the 4th quarter, this game is tied. I tell you, the life of a kicker. He has not been called on the entire game. He's over there by the net, but they send him out here in the 4th quarter and say, hey, go tie the game, will you? And guess what? He comes through.
I just don't know how they do it. I really don't. These cats are a different breed from you and me. That's a pressure kick, but that one was never in doubt.
A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And we essentially have a brand new ball game. After that last field goal has tied us all up, we brace for what should be an exciting rest of this 4th quarter. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. He has just been completely taken out of this game. We're in the 4th quarter. He's single digits in the rushing department.
And I know we look at him because the numbers do go to his production, but how about the guys blocking for him? They don't just have his number as a ball carrier. They've got the number of the offensive line and the other guys because they're getting to him before he can get started.
Flush to his right. He'll get this into the hands of Nico Collins. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. That his first catch so far. They've held him under wraps, but he's got a 1st down there.
And partner, in a tie game in the 4th quarter, you and I both know in the NFL, that's when you lean on your stars. And he came through with a nice catch right there.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down.
Well, it's easy to see when we review this that the ball needs to come out quicker because if you don't throw it right on the break, you bring a crowd of people into the equation.
And that's why it got knocked away there. To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Stroud, 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches as we just saw him do there because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that in-run.
Well, they get to Stroud, nowhere to go, and he goes down. Joshua Hines-Allen able to record his 5th sack of the season. The Jaguars going to go ahead and use their first timeout. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this.
On is the punter Townsend as he gets this one away.
And this will be out of bounds at the what here? The 12-yard line. The Jacksonville offense set to begin their next drive. Excellent job by their defense to force the punt and provide them with this opportunity, all tied in the 4th quarter.
Now Etienne to start the drive.
And he works it across the 25 before being tackled.
57 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 13 times.
We often give credit to the O-line there. 2 tight end formation. Those tight ends block pretty well also.
Yeah, and that's one of the most dynamic positions in football now. The tight ends who can block at the line of scrimmage at the point of attack, and they can also get downfield and catch the football.
On first down, right back to Etienne.
And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Well, partner, I guess sometimes it's just a matter of philosophy. Some say run it until they absolutely stop you, and others say, well, when you think they're about to stop you, fool them a little bit. I guess they should have tried to fool them on that play.
Lawrence. He finds his man, complete. That's Weaver. Getting down to the good stuff. All tied with 2 minutes remaining on EA Sports. So it's Jaguar football here as we welcome you back. And they're facing a big 3rd down now in this tie ball game.
They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first. Now Lawrence.
Oh, what a heck of an effort there as he'll make the diving catch. He's been quiet all afternoon. He may have just come up with a play of the day right there, though.
Obviously, it's not the volume in what you get done. It's the quality, and that was a quality catch right there.
On 1st and 10, it's Etienne. And he edges forward, but only gets a pair of yards out of it. It's 2nd down.
Partner, they're clearly saving those timeouts, but they still have to work with some urgency to put themselves in the right position.
2nd down, 8 yards to go. Back to throw. Lawrence. Out route, and it's complete to Brown.
And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
And they run the option here on 1st and 10.
And he probably should have given that one off as he's going to get hit and taken down behind the line.
I don't think there's any doubt that if it's me, I'd be really cautious about continuing to call this play because you got to know, defenders, if they get a free shot at the QB, they want to take it, and they want to take it big.
And they got it there on the option play for a loss.
All right, my man, this is now where it's risk-reward because on defense, you've got to crowd the line of scrimmage. You've got to get in all the gaps, get up tight on everyone, and try and force the field goal attempt here. You can't let them break one big, but you know something, when you crowd the line of scrimmage, if they do pop one, it's going to go a long way.
Yeah, I was going to say, could take it to the house, but the magnitude of this possible upcoming field goal, every yard counts.
They'll fake it on the jet sweep, and instead a handoff up the middle.
The Texans going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as he'll stop it with 27 seconds showing on the clock. And his kick is right there. It's good, and the sideline celebrates as they have taken the lead in the final minute. All right, so time to reset here. It's a huge kick there, gives them the lead, but they've got to be careful that their celebrations aren't a little too premature.
You're exactly right about that because there still is time for the other guys to run a few plays and get into field goal position. So this defense is going to need to come up with one final stop if they're going to get out of here with a victory.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. Here's 1st and 10. Stroud, he's going to audible to something else.
Flag comes in. This might be a free play. Now a desperation throw deep downfield.
Oh, and that's going to sabotage their comeback plans. It is intercepted.
Picked off by Darnell Savage. And he'll take this across midfield and inside the 45.
So they take the flag and the yardage that comes with it. Here's 1st down.
Here we go. Nike Texans.
Stroud.
Sliding out of the pocket. He's going to let it fly.
This ball intercepted. And the Jaguars are going to hang on the final play. They get the turnover to seal this football game. So this will be a win for Jacksonville. Well, Charles, I mean, when you look at the stat sheet, ultimately one thing sticks out like a sore thumb. One side lost this game because they turned the ball over 4 times, and that was just too much for them to overcome.
And that number might as well be in neon because you're exactly right. It just jumps up from the stat sheet. Your eyes go right to it. And with that many turnovers, they really played themselves out of this game. Too careless with the football too many times. That cost them the victory.
So for the Jags, the win gets them back to 500 at 6-6 on the year. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Tennessee Titans. Meanwhile, for the Texans, it's going to all but eliminate them from the playoff picture as they fall to 5-8. And they'll get the extra week to think about this one as they return to action in 2 weeks' time. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.
EA Sports.